All right. I think we have to reshare this as a new post, but we're live. Ah, there we go.
Ah, there we go. Ah, there we go. Ah, there we go. Ah, there we go.
All right. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Let me know if the chat is working and if you guys are able to type out your questions. She did? I don't see it.
Maybe she just sent it through Patreon.
That's what I'm looking at.
Like, I got it as like a notification on here. She said hi.
Hi, Jane. So if you guys go, if you hover your mouse over the video, where it says YouTube in the bottom right corner, you can click on that. It'll open it on YouTube, and on your right will be like the live chat. So I'll type, hello, everyone. And that's where you'll be able to ask any questions you may have. Let me know if that works. There's a huge delay when you like talk on Patreon. Oh. All right. Yeah, I see, okay, I see your comments now, Jane, on Patreon. So you can just keep typing there too if that's easier rather than doing it on YouTube. So yeah, so if you have any questions, send them in right now on that chat. And you should see mine come up too. I just said hi, Jane, in the chat box. Ah, here I am disguised as Jean. Hi, Jean Jane. You found us.
Awesome. Turn the lights on back here.
Yeah, it's dark in here. Get some lighting.
Lights, camera, action.
There we go.
Hey.
I can't see you. I can only see your questions. Or your your chat. How's my boy Jay doing? Good. Yeah, I don't blame him now. The weather, well, today was cold, but the weather's getting nicer now. I'm sure he wants to be out all the time. When's he coming to see us? He's my buddy. Yeah, following week would be good. We miss him. He's once spring comes too, he'll be able to be out in the yard a lot more. We're almost there. It's still light out, so that's a positive. How old is JD now? Let's see, I'm gonna get my. Do you guys still walk him off leash? Or I know I'm sure it's probably tougher by you than where we are in the middle of nowhere. Oh, he's 4.5. Yeah,
He's 4.5.
he's 4.5. Yeah,
He's older than that. He's a young gun.
he's young. He's a youngin. I'm gonna pull up the questions we had from Instagram too. All right. Yeah, you guys are in a busier area. And by busy, I just mean there's people around. Not like here where there's mainly just horses. Practice with e-collar more. Yeah. Do you guys, yeah, we can always help you guys with that. All right. So we got some questions from Instagram. So I'm going to go ahead and read those and answer them for anybody that asked us a question earlier in the week. So we have one. If a dog started on e-collar, took a year hiatus, is it safe to begin incorporating it again? Which kind of goes right along with your comment there, Jane, too, about needing to practice e-collar more. So yes, it is safe to start incorporating again. I would just kind of take it slow. Go from the beginning. The level may have changed from, in the year that you haven't used it. So you're going to want to start at a little bit of a lower level, see how your dog responds to that first, and then start it with something that's super familiar to your dog, like a place command or something like that. And then, go from there. Just kind of treat it as if it's new again, so that it's not just super overwhelming, catching your dog off guard, trying to throw it back in there again. We have another question that says, my puppy jumps on counters. I tried off and training collar, nothing, help. So I would keep your dog leashed in the house for a little bit until they have an understanding of the word off. Because if you're just saying off and you've never really taught your dog what the word off means, you're not going to get very far. So setting it up by saying off and then pulling the dog down with the leash. I'm not sure what kind of training collar you used, but same concept. So we can't just start pressing buttons on an e-collar or any kind of training collar like that. And expect the dog to know what we want. So it's going to be a lot of repetition. Even setting your dog up for it, bringing them over on leash, waiting to see if they jump up on the table or the counter, saying the word off first, and then pulling them down, or pairing that with e-collar and then pulling them down. Always the command first. So if you want the command to be off, you can always even just use no too. If your dog, already has somewhat of an understanding of what the word no means. That way, if the command's always coming first before the consequence, so to speak, eventually your dog's going to want to just avoid that consequence, and they're going to respond to just your no or your off in and of itself. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? We're just answering some questions from Instagram to keep you up to speed. So this is about dogs jumping on the counter. So I was saying your command should always come first, followed by the consequence of some sort, whether it be e-collar or leash or both. But make sure if you're using the e-collar and your dog isn't totally familiar with e-collar yet, you're using that leash too, so that they don't just get confused and overwhelmed. So you would press your e-collar and then pull them down off the counter. But yeah, so eventually you're going to hit the point where your dog just hears the word no and understands to get off without needing that leash or e-collar. But in order to get there, that word should always come first, followed by the consequence. Another question we have from Caitlin001. I make a leash correction on walks. My dog springs up in the air on all fours. Suggestions. Your leash correction might be too harsh. I don't know. It's hard for me to say without knowing your dog or seeing your dog. But I would start with some basic like turnarounds rather than like a harsh, leash pop in the beginning. Let your dog slip out in front and stuff like that, and just switch direction a lot so that they get a little bit more engaged with you. What happens when you switch direction a lot, your dog kind of has to start paying attention to where you're going. Dogs get so kind of locked into where they're walking, or where they want to walk, I should say, or, things they see up ahead, smells on the ground. So by switching up your direction a lot and suddenly, it kind of forces them to become a little bit more in tune with you. And actually our instructional video for this week on Patreon is an instructional video on introduction to the structured walk. And I talk a lot about those direction changes. Yeah. So even for you guys, Jen and Jane, it's confusing because I see the name Jean. So even for you guys where both of your dogs know the structured walk already, but this is a good way even just to start your walk to get them a little bit more in tune with you. So as you're walking, if they're kind of getting really distracted and they're not really focused on you, start your walk by doing a lot of those direction changes. And you can definitely go check out, after this is done, go look at that video that we posted this week on the structured walk, because that's a really good exercise to get your dog more in tune with you and engaged with you before you go for your walk. And you can also add in e-collar to that as well. I think I mentioned that in that video too. So if your dog's already trained on e-collar, as you turn direction, you'll give that e-collar a little tap and then change direction. And you can use a lot of rewards too. If your dog isn't, super engaged with you generally on walks and they get easily distracted by smells, squirrels, really anything, people going by, you can go back to some rewards too, because we don't want to always just be correcting our dog. We want to show them both sides. That's why it's called balanced training, because we want to show them the rewards and the consequences. It should be a balance of both. Do you guys have any other questions for me before I see if there were any more on Instagram? Did you see, John, we got an update from Bailey?
Oh, no, I didn't.
On Instagram. There's like a picture and stuff. Yeah, so the smelling and stuff, I would definitely, you want to allow the time for smelling, but it shouldn't be for the whole walk. So if he's like right off the bat going to, and I know with JD too, he does a lot of marking or tries to. So you want to kind of limit that to when it's, by your permission only. So I would make the beginning of the walk a little bit more structured. So be a little bit more strict with that in the beginning of the walk. Use some rewards for every time he checks in with you, or every time he's just walking next to you, not trying to sniff the ground, all of that. You can mark with the word good. JD definitely knows that just from being here, the word good, and then give a treat. Something a little higher value probably if you're out on your walks, because if it's just, his regular kibble or something like that, the smells on the ground might be more enticing than that. So you can bring a piece of cheese or, whatever he really likes. And then, sorry, I'm like trying to read the comments and talk at the same time. I'm not skilled enough to do that yet. So getting them a little bit more engaged to start in the walk, and then once he's doing well, following you and he's checking in with you and all of that, then giving him those opportunities to have a little bit more freedom, a little bit of a longer leash, and being able to sniff around and explore. So that way it's more of a reward for staying in tune with you first, and following direction first, practicing your direction changes and all of that too, rather than just kind of, he goes on his walks to take in all the smells and just kind of forgets that you're there. Because the walk should always be, a bonding experience between you and your dog. That's kind of where that relationship building comes in, if that makes sense. And then we still want to give them that opportunity to sniff around, explore, and be a dog and all of that. Just, as a reward. And when we give him that command, so you can use, just free when you want to allow him to be a little bit less, structured. So if he, you want to allow him, even with JD, because he's, a little bit more advanced on this stuff too, you can tell him free during the walk at certain points and allow him to go a little bit out in front and stuff like that, as long as you're able to call his name or tell him walk again, and he'll come back. And the way you're going to just do that in the beginning is by allowing him to go out in front when you tell him free. And when you say walk, you're just going to pull him back with the leash. Yeah. Yeah. So even if it's, to go to the bathroom and stuff like that, you still want to kind of start with the structure and then allow him to go, find a spot to go to the bathroom once you give him that free command. Roxy has sensitive skin. Oh no.
They make sensitive contact points for the e-collar.
Oh yeah, John just made a good point too. If the e-collar contact points are bothering her skin, they do make sensitive skin e-collar contact points. The
Stainless steel, I think.
they're stainless steel, you said?
So, yeah.
They're stainless steel. So if you do go on, would they go on e-collar technologies? ecollar.com
It's
is
really common for the pit bulls.
Yeah, pit bulls it's very common for. They have very sensitive skin. John's pit bull has sensitive skin sometimes as well. So yeah, they do make contact points for that, which would be better. Her ears and paws. Yeah, it could be something in her diet or something like that too.
Or seasonal allergies.
It could also be seasonal allergies. Yeah. So just try to make sure she's not like excessively licking at her paws and stuff like that. You can also correct that. Just tell her no and give like a little e-collar tap too if she's getting too into it. But yeah, it could be allergies too, just with the weather changing and stuff. And I'm sure, she's going to be outside a little bit more too because of that. Let me just go back and catch up on these comments. Do you have any recommendations for something for dry skin?
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil. John's the guru on that kind of stuff.
Dinner time.
Yeah, John said coconut oil will be good for that.
Coconut oil is really good. You can even put that in her food too, just like a teaspoon or something like that, just that, internally she's getting a little bit more fats and moisture going in there, or just adding a little bit of water into her food could help her just, stay a little bit more hydrated.
Yeah. Yeah, give the coconut oil a try. Let us know how that works.
She's probably going to want to eat it all in her paws, so be careful.
Yeah, John said she's probably going to want to eat it off her paws if you put it on her paws. So you just want to watch out for that.
Maybe put it on before a walk.
Put it on. Yeah, John said put it on before a walk. So that way she's not kind of laying around on place and getting fixated on it. I mean, it's not harmful if she eats it, but you don't want to, put it on her paws just for her to lick it right off. So like before a walk might be helpful for her too. What advice for Gene? Yeah, tell him to get in the habit of using the e-collar a little bit more, so that when he does start sniffing, you'll just want to give like a very simple no and like a tap on, whatever his working level is. So a very low level on the e-collar every time his nose goes to the ground. And then you want to show him the difference of telling him free and then allowing him to sniff and all of that. Because I think that's going to be, easiest scenario. You can also add a little bit of leash pressure up with the slip lead every time his nose goes to the ground. But that's just a little bit like you're going to probably have to do that every time. Whereas with the e-collar, he'll kind of get the hint a little bit quicker. You should only have to do it a couple times. Let's see if there were any more questions on Instagram also. You're welcome. Let's see. Jen, how's Roxy doing with the training? Is she behaving herself for you guys? I think that was all the Instagram questions. So we're caught up on those for this week. Yeah, definitely. That consistency is key. She's gonna test you. She's still at that age. So consider it like the terrible twos, because she's not even a year old yet, right? She's demanding water right now. Tell her Christina's talking right now. We're in classes in session, Roxy. July she'll be a year. Yeah. She's still in that puppy phase. She's going to be testing the waters for a while. This is kind of that age where she's going to be like consistently pushing your buttons and pushing your boundaries to see how far she can push and to see if you'll give. So this is, the most important time to show her that you're not going to give in. Yeah. That's good. She's got some impulse control at least a little bit, right? how's she doing with the recalls? Because I know they were needing some work in the beginning. Hope she's doing better for that with you guys. Oh yeah, we just talked about, were you on here when we talked about the jumping on the counters? That's perfect. I can go over that again too if you, I'm not sure if you were signed on already or not. Yeah, somebody on Instagram had asked about that too. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, so that you're, for Roxy, what I would do is just turn your or you can use red button if we set the red button for you. Yeah. They, maybe they knew that's what you needed to hear this week. Whoever asked that question, you guys are on the same page. But yeah, so what I would do for Roxy is use the red button for the counters, and you can even, what I would do is even like set her up, like make, you know, her think that you're not even paying attention. You can even like put a couple like treats on the counter to set her up for it. And as soon as she jumps up and paws touch the counter, red button. And you can even, you don't even have to, in that scenario, if she does it when you're not in the room too, you don't even have to say the word no. First, you can just you can just kind of let her think that the counter is going to correct her even if you're not in the room. So for my Golden, what ended up happening is he got smart enough to realize he couldn't steal things off the table if I was in the room. But as soon as I left, he would go for it. So John and I will like FaceTime each other, and we'll leave one phone in the room, and then we'll both leave, and we'll just kind of watch on the other phone. And as soon as he goes for it, I'll just correct with the e-collar. So that way he just kind of thinks that even if I'm not there, he's going to get corrected for it. So you can always try that too. You could drop food on the floor. Yeah. We do a lot of that in the board and train. So that's something she probably just remembered too, that we'll like put them on place and we'll practice dropping food around the place bed. And if they go for it, if they step off place to go for it, we'll correct. She is, yeah. She's super smart. Jen and Jane, both of you, send us your t-shirt size. We're gonna send you guys a t-shirt, a Canine Connection t-shirt, to everybody who signs up for Patreon. So if you want to send us your sizes, they're unisex t-shirts. They're pretty true to size, I would say, right, John?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A stare when you're eating. Where is JD when you're eating? Do you usually use place for that? Or is he just kind of hanging out in the room? Medium for Jane. Awesome. We'll set one aside for you. I do the same. Me and John can't even like remember the last time we sat at our kitchen table here. It's more like storage at this point. We just store things on top of it. Yeah, see, if you if you feed him from the table or from your plate, yeah, why wouldn't he stare? You know, he's waiting for it. So what I actually do with or I don't really feed him table scraps anymore, but what I used to do with my dog is I would make him lay on place while I ate. And I do the same thing. I'm always eating in front of the TV. I don't really ever sit at the table. So I would get him in the habit of going to place, and he eventually picked up on it automatically that he would see me sit down with my food and he would go to place. And then if there was something that I wanted to share with him once I was done, I would just go, you know, after I cleaned up my plate and, you know, after I was finished eating, I would just go either put it in his bowl or just go hand it to him on place. So that way it's more of like if you go hang out on place, you'll get something versus if you're just sitting there staring at us. Because then he's gonna stare at you guys all the time. And he'll probably creep closer and closer if you let him. All right. Yeah, we'll put t-shirts aside for you guys, and we can either drop them off to you one day, or Jane, when you bring JD, we can give you yours then. Yeah, food is always a reward. So you want to keep in mind too the state of mind he's in. So if he's like, you know, really intense, excited, staring at you guys, waiting for it, when you give him that food, you're rewarding whatever state of mind he's in that moment. And that goes for, you know, across the board all day long. So, yeah, you want to be very careful of when you're giving food, attention, affection, anything that he views as a reward. Make sure he's always in a nice, calm, balanced state of mind when he's getting that stuff. What you pet is what you get. Same with food. Works the same. We are coming up on a little over 30 minutes here. So do you guys have any other questions for me before we kind of wrap things up? Yeah, it's fun. It's going to be, we're excited to have like more and more people on here, because I think the more people,
Tell your friends.
yeah, yeah. John said, tell your friends. We've been trying to hype this up a little bit more so that we can get some more people on here to chat. You're like, you've got like a halo above you, John.
Gotta cut it off with my head. There we go.
He's angelic tonight.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, so if you guys don't have any other questions, we'll wrap it up. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, definitely tell your friends who are getting the puppy.
Yeah, especially this
preparation.
This month's like blog posts and videos were very tailored towards puppies too. So that'll be good for them to go back and see. That stuff doesn't disappear. So whoever signs up you can see everything from the past that's ever been posted on there. So go check those out. Check out the blog posts that we've put up in the past. We do instructional videos and we do dog of the week. Speaking of dog of the week, if you guys take any videos of you working with your dogs, send them to us through text or through Instagram or something like that, because then Roxy or JD could be the next dog of the week. They have to be taken, if they're taken from a phone, they have to be taken this way. What's it called? Landscape. Horizontally, because that's the way that it uploads, because we do it on YouTube. So that's the way it's got to be uploaded. So if you take a video of you practicing anything with your dogs, it can be really anything that you're working on currently, and you want to do it this way.
And then we don't, so each month we do a different theme for what we're going to be covering. And so this month's theme was structure. So if there's something that you guys want us to cover next month, you're welcome to send us some suggestions of things that you want us to focus on so that we can tailor the content to what you guys are working on.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. We will we'll be in touch. And if you guys think of like questions throughout the week too, as you're working with your dogs, you can send them ahead of time too, so that, you know, once we sign on Monday nights, we'll be ready to go.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.